I struggled with that realization for a while. It came on the back of a bunch of shitty things that happened around me all in rapid succession.
Recently, the popular YouTuber Jschlatt announced that he will no longer be posting on his Jschlatt live YouTube channel. That's essentially what that 4-minute YouTube video was about, saying that he won't be posting on that Jschlatt live YouTube channel, and a couple of other updates sprinkled in with a few jokes. But actually, Schlatt did open up a lot more in another brand new YouTube video that was about 14 minutes long.
And as I hit my wildest professional and financial goals, and a deer, I realized that I was in the box too. That I couldn't stop pressing the button, even though logically, pressing it didn't make sense anymore. I struggled with that realization for a while. It came on the back of a bunch of shitty things that happened around me all in rapid succession, and it led to one of the most miserable and aimless periods in my entire life.
Towards the beginning of the clip, Schlatt is specifically speaking about posting and uploading content on YouTube, and this whole idea that ultimately he has reached this monetary level and success that he really never thought he would reach, and it makes no sense to keep posting on that Jschlatt live YouTube channel when ultimately he's reached those goals. Now, not only in this video does he talk about the YouTube stuff, which of course we will get back to later as that is the main focal point of said video, but as well he does open up about some things that have happened to him recently, like him being involved in a pretty bad car accident.
Let's start at the beginning. The deer story is true. A few months ago I got into a pretty bad car accident. I was headed to the supermarket getting some big league chew, you know, the whole shebang. The thing jumped out onto the road and there was literally no time to react. And every time I bring it up in videos, I've mentioned it quite a few times at this point, I try and make light of the situation and kind of, you know, make jokes, but fuck man, that sucked. That sucked. I've never been in a real car accident before. Believe it or not, I'm a pretty good driver when there's no alcohol involved. Just kidding. Just kidding. Damn. I was pretty banged up. I remember it hitting the windshield, the glass fucking covering my face, and time literally slowed down.
Also, I think it goes without saying, but that's a horrible experience, and a traumatic one at that, and I think that anybody with a heart or soul, or whatever the fuck, is going to feel sympathy towards Schlatt in that instance.
In reality, I got very lucky. I'm lucky it hit the right side of the car. I mean, otherwise that's a near-death experience. I'm lucky no one was in that seat, because, again, that's a near-death experience. Easy trip to the hospital. And I'm lucky that all I lost was a car. The fucked up thing, though, and the most important piece of this whole car accident puzzle that I failed to mention in the main video is that the day it happened, the day I wrecked my dream car and was left sitting in a pile of glass and deer gristle, I came home and I realized I was still more stressed out about how poorly my recent video was doing.
I do think it's great that Schlatt has been this open about it, and if you are a content creator or a YouTuber or posted content, you know exactly what Schlatt is talking about here. The feeling of seeing a video that isn't performing well being a 10 out of 10 instead of a 1 out of 10, for example, is a gut-wrenching feeling and is something that can really just ruin your entire day when realistically it shouldn't. And this is something that has happened to every single YouTuber or content creator or somebody that uploads content, and I don't want to hear it because people do focus on numbers even if you just do it for the love of the game, and it is something that when you see it, it can really ruin the rest of your day and how you're feeling.
And it was in that moment I was just like, wow, I do not take care of myself. I have everything I ever could have wanted in life, and I still worry the most about titles and thumbnails. Still, all the while, fat as fuck, completely sedentary, I'm tired, I'm stressed all the time, and I don't do shit about it. And a 10 out of 10 in the YouTube studio, which basically means that out of your last 10 videos, this one is the worst performing one. That ruins my day more than literally almost dying.
It was great to see that somebody like Schlatt is this self-aware, because like I was saying, whilst this does happen to every single YouTuber who's uploaded a video and it's a 10 out of 10, and it does kind of ruin your day, when it gets to this level, of course, it becomes a problem when you start prioritizing it over your real life. I think it goes without saying, but if you're almost in a life-ending event and your takeaway from that is that your video is a 10 out of 10 in the YouTube studio, you probably need to take a step back.
I'm still working towards that I haven't achieved. I've done everything I've wanted to on YouTube. Really, I met all my idols. I've gotten millions of views. I'm past all the financial goals I had too, even the stupidly unrealistic ones. My life no longer improves with another 1 out of 10. So what was it? Why was I still obsessed? And I realized it's the box, man. That's the entire point. Skinner's box. The algorithm of 1s and 10s that keep you mashing the button like a fucking idiot because it's all you know. And when your video's performing really well, YouTube shows confetti on your homepage. It blasts over the entire screen and it says, keep up the good work. Totally true, by the way. If you are a good boy for YouTube and become as mass appealing as possible for them, they blast confetti all over the homepage.
Ultimately, what I'm about to say isn't necessarily going to apply to Schlatt here, as, like he said, he is financially successful, he is successful in general, but ultimately, when you are a smaller content creator and you see a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, that is probably going to ruin your day a lot more, because ultimately, you need those 1 out of 10s, 2 out of 10s, whatever, to be financially successful and successful on the platform to continue actually, making it profitable and a thing that you do. Ultimately, you still shouldn't let views dictate what you're doing. If you're not happy with your content, then, you should change it up. And, if YouTube isn't working for you, you get a real life job. I mean, take a look at somebody like Tommy Innit, for example, who, again, like Schlatt, has reached a giant level of success financially and just with his channel in general. He doesn't have to care about viewership, and he's been pretty open again about his obsession with views and numbers and the declining analytics, and now, he's doing whatever he wants and he doesn't really care about it. I think it goes without saying, but almost anybody that uploads to the platform wants to do well, wants a video that does well. Nobody's going to tell you that, they're uploading and they're hoping for one view. That's just an absolute lie. You want your videos to be as successful as possible, and you kind of do get obsessed with that.
It's funny, the reason my uploads became so infrequent over the years on this main channel isn't because I didn't feel like posting. I wasn't kicking back, going to like FaZe Clan parties and sleeping around. It was the fucking opposite. I'd wake up thinking about YouTube. I'd go to bed thinking about YouTube. I'd have dreams I was making videos, and I'd wake up half asleep thanking people for their donation to my stream. And I was absolutely terrified of a 10 out of 10. It would ruin my entire month. If I had just posted a really good video and the confetti was fucking going on YouTube Studio, I'd purposefully wait, like as long as I could before posting another video, because I knew the confetti would go away and it would tell me something bad instead. And the days where those videos bombed were the most miserable ones I could imagine. I'd feel physically ill, no motivation to do anything. It felt like everything I had worked for was crumbling.
And maybe to a lesser extent, this is probably something that almost every YouTuber has faced on the platform. When you're doing well, when you're in that real good stride of having good content, and then you start getting like a 10 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 or whatever it may be, it does hit you hard, and it does kind of impact your motivation and what you actually want to do on the platform. You're kind of worried to post just out of fear that, your next video is also going to flop. Like, if you ask any YouTuber, any streamer, anybody you follow, they will tell you the exact same thing, that they've had an experience like this, and ultimately you just not need to let it control what content you are making, because ultimately it does affect your motivation. Now, the other updates that Schlatt then goes into, I'm not going to sit here and talk about. They are some pretty personal stuff, like his dad having heart surgery. If you want to go and listen to Schlatt talk about that, I highly recommend that you go and check out the video that is currently on screen.
Yes, rent stew comments that plague my comment section. That's the real rent I was paying. Everything else in my life paled in importance to this shitty, unhealthy obsession I had with YouTube. And every time I think about Jschlatt live, I'm pulled back into that world of obsession. Like, of feeling like I'll never be good enough, of pressing the fucking button over and over and over again and expecting it to be different this time. Still, I don't know if I could ever feel a different way about that channel, to be honest. And that's why I'm quitting it.
I think moving away from a channel that ultimately, for whatever reason, makes you feel unmotivated and starting a new project or focusing on something else makes complete sense. When you focus on a brand new project, it's pretty exciting. Even if the first few videos aren't getting views, you don't really care because you just want to focus on that said channel. And now this also allows Schlatt to focus on more of his personal life as well. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, some of your viewers, I think that's where I'm going to end off the video. When I got sent this topic, I didn't know if I was going to cover it or whatever, but as soon as I saw that Schlatt was talking about YouTube analytics and his experience with being obsessed about it and the 1s and 10s or whatever, it was a topic that, I felt like I should talk about. It's something I wanted to talk about for a while, but never really found the opportunity to actually discuss on this channel, and Schlatt gave me a pretty good opportunity to do so. But everybody watching, what's your thoughts on all of this? Please feel free to comment down below, and watch the also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future Slot Mule content. But I've been your host Samuel, you've been watching Slot Mule, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video. Goodbye.